Martin's Test Shaves, Saturday the 8th of March. Now, should we go for stainless steel, high-end custom, or shall we go for the ultimate Iberia, which is of course a factory made? Anyway, how about that? Now this is a historic piece, one of my favourites. This one came from a good friend in America, but this was made originally for Lynn Abrahams, the great Lynn Abrahams, no less. And this is a Mastro Livi, and this is a very, very, very unusual piece of steel, because this is Mastro Livi's handmade custom stainless steel. I believe it's an RWL34, and I've stropped it. It hanging hair tests perfectly. But what we're going to do is compare it to this Iberia. They're both 8/8, but this Iberia really is quite special. I'll show you why. It came with all its original paperwork from a very close friend of mine. It came from Gary. Thanks, Gary. And look at this. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Now that is true quality. It's by, of course, a Basset, SA, Iberia, Barcelona. It's got the 14, deeply stamped, as it should be, properly heat stamped, onto the tang. And of course it has a lovely gold Iberia etched panel. Anyway, I'm not going to crack on too much more other than to say this is really something special. It has even got on the scales the little Iberian lion. So we're going to have top end manufacture, very rare, rocking horse poo rare actually, and even more rare because of its antiquity. We do have in its original case, which is of course I think I'm right in saying, yes, a little unusual, even the case on this Mastro Livi, it has a little razor scale made of the natural olive wood, as is the scales. So, without more ado, let's wet the face and get on, because I don't want to get you guys bored. But I would say, when it comes to stainless steel versus carbon steel, they are different. They even shade slightly differently. The best stainless steels, yeah, they'll equal to any carbon steel, but they just feel different. So I'm going to just quickly wet my face. 2 seconds, chaps, bear with me. I've got a strange camera angle on today as well. Wet the face. I think today we'll go back to using a nice high quality Truffet and Hill. I've used this a few times, as you've probably seen in my videos. It has not a particularly special aroma, but it's very consistent. And when you're doing shaving tests, I think it's a good idea to go for consistency. It doesn't take much to wreck a test. And as you know, that's all I do. I test razor steel. So, warm up the brush, which is my usual Yaki synthetic, perfectly adequate. And get a very quick lather going. I would say though that it's an unusual aroma. I prefer Eric's, the Cajun Blaze. They're stronger aromas, more robust. This is perfectly adequate for me. What I like about synthetic brushes is, although they haven't got a lot of, well, stiffness to them, but they do lather up very, very easily. So if you want a quick lathering brush, I rather prefer synthetic. At the same time, of course, they haven't got any strange aromas of dead dog, dead pig, or anything else. They are made from the rare nylon plant. Anyway, it's a lovely spring, early spring morning. I'm going to get a quick shave done, and then I might go and do a little bit of slinging, which is my current thing to do. Again, please remember, chaps, dry fingers. easiest mistake to make is to rush ahead, as I often do, rush, with wet fingers, and you will cut yourself. Or at least there's a higher probability that you'll cut yourself. Right, let's start off with this magnificent Iberia. Oh, what a privilege. Oh my God. I can hardly feel it cut. This is a laser. And this is on at least 4, if not 5 days stubble. Because I'm lazy. Yeah, this is probably one of the most profoundly marvellous razors that I own. Well, that's one side done already. Even on this number of days stubble, there is absolutely no hesitation. So, yeah, that's incredible, absolutely incredible. I'll just wash off some suds and some nasty stubble, just to show you chaps. Yeah, that's the business. However, let's try a Mastro Livi. And this Mastro Livi is a historic piece. I was very, very lucky to get this from Nicholas in America on a trade. God knows how many hands it's been through. It doesn't matter. It's stainless steel. And I've got to say, it's just as good as the Iberia. And that's amazing. Look at that. Effortless. Even on the lower neck hairs, which are always stubborn. Yeah. Very nice. Do you know, with a low angle, I can't tell the difference. Stainless steel to me is always smoother, but not quite as sharp. With an early Mastro Livi, which this one certainly is, yeah, you get all the benefits. I mean, it hasn't got a wonderful polish to it. He doesn't really go in for high mirror finish. But Mastro Livis have a certain magic. And if it can cope with my nasty old bristles, it's doing well. I've got to say though, for hold, I would honestly say I think I would prefer the Iberia 14. Just let me wipe off some of this horrible accretion of old stubble. Yeah, I'm going to go now to a second pass. I'm going to do a second pass against the grain with the Iberia. I'll do a little bit more trimming with the Iberia. I feel slightly happier with a big, stiff carbon 14 blade. I don't know why. All these things take a little bit of getting used to. But as far as the steel's concerned, they're both top notch. That'll do. Right, quick. And I won't keep you much longer, chaps. Let's go back to the Iberia. To say this is absolute Rolls Royce. As I keep saying, I'm sorry, I don't want to be boring. I don't want to be pedantic. But you may not be able to afford a brand new Rolls Royce. You may not be able to afford an antique collectible Ferrari, but you can have the world's best razors. I like that idea. Oh God, that's good. Yep. And this is using the Iberia 14 on the side of my face that I just used on the first pass, the Mastro Livi. Would I say the Mastro Livi was a better quality of steel? No. Just different. I don't believe it. What's that? I don't know. Very odd. Anyway. Crisp. The Iberia, incredibly crisp. Let's switch pause. Yeah, faultless. Right, I'm going to do the other side of the mush against the grain. The Mastro Livi. Totally different style. Very slight and very pleasant smile to the blade. What's incredible is the fact that it had the very finest machine hand engraved signature, the Mastro Livi with a little R, and then incredibly fine. There's actually Lynn Abrahams' name. So it's just a slightly different feel. Both are superb. But I'm mostly used to carbon steel. It's still absolutely first rate. There's just something less ultra sharp with stainless. This could be me. Can't find any stubble. So this is going to be a very simple test between the RWL34 Mastro Livi stainless steel, probably made in the 70s. Might have been made in the 80s, I don't know. This has been through several people's hands. It's a most marvellous piece of figured olive wood, and it has, very faintly, don't know if I can show you, it has Mastro Livi's signature, both on the blade and on the wood. Isn't that unusual? So he was the first guy, Mastro Livi, first Italian certainly, in the custom field for razors, and they really are quite unusual. When I say quite unusual, allow me to explain very briefly because we're getting on in time. This is a single piece of wood. It's a one-piece scale. There's no pin, it's not joined, it's actually cut from one piece of wood. This is one of the, to me, more unusual sides of having a custom razor by Mastro Livi. Not pinned together. Also, of course, this is, again, pretty early one. It has a single pin, hammer pin, as a pivot pin. A lot of his later ones actually have an adjustable screw. But anyway, you know what? I think I've had enough. This is really good. 2 pass shave, that's all. For smoothness, the Mastro Livi. The blistering sharpness and ease of cut, it's got to be the Iberia. So there you go, chaps. How about that for unusual? Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. That's all I do. I test steel. Anyway, Martin's Test Shaves. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Over and out.